Everybody, it's Edwin here, the pretty green vinyl guy, and I am back with my first video of 2025. So before the holidays, December, I believe it was December 6th to be absolutely accurate, I launched Vinyl Tag 2025, and I want to follow up on that. And don't worry, we're not doing Vinyl Tag 2026. We're not even doing a tag video. I think there's enough of those online. But I wanted to follow up with one of my questions, which a lot of people seem to respond very well to as they were doing their response videos. And the prompt question that I had was, show me a record in your collection that has a great drum sound on it, has a great drummer in that world. And I want to do a follow-up video to that. And I want you to give me 9 more. So you have your top 10 albums in your collection. So it's kind of a gimme video. So I produced Zenyatta Mandata by the Police as my choice of my #1 album in my collection with the best drumming. And we all know Stuart Copeland is an amazing drummer. All 5 of the Police studio albums have an amazing drum sound. He was unique, he was different, and he really created something that was different sounding back in the time. I grew up as a child of This Is Right in my wheelhouse. I bought this album when it came out, and I'm a huge Police fan. Now, I'm going to ignore some of the obvious choices when we talk about drumming. There's not going to be any John Bonhams. There's not going to be any Neil Pearts. There's not going to be any Ringos or Charlie Watts or Keith Moons. We all know they're amazing drummers, and we don't need to flog a dead horse. So I'm going to give you 9 more from my collection that I think are unique, overlooked, no one really talks about, and let's get into it. So my first one is from the John Mayer album, Continuum. The drummer on this was Steve Jordan. And, this is subtle drumming. There's no drum solos. There's no, but the drums drive the album. And Steve Jordan, I should mention, is the now current drummer for the Rolling Stones. And he was originally the drummer for Saturday Night Live. And this is going back to when Belushi and Aykroyd started the Blues Brothers. And that's right, he was the original drummer on the Blues Brothers albums. He's also drummed for Donald Fagen, Sheryl Crow, and Don Henley himself. So there you go. My number 9 pick is Steve Jordan from Continuum by John Mayer. These aren't really in an order. I'm just going to count them down, though. Number 8, we're going to go with this album, Jellyfish, Spilt Milk. Yeah, Spilt Milk. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. And Andy Strummer, the singer, actually was the drummer on this album, which is amazing. And one of those lead singer drummer guys. Of course, this is quite a sought after album now. You know, there was the release last year. This is a repress, but an early repress. And this sounds amazing, and the drums, of course, sound fantastic. And this is a great album with some really unique drumming styles. And yeah, Jellyfish with Andy Strummer is my number 8. My number 7 is another band from my youth that I just love. This is Australia's Midnight Oil, the Oils, as they say down under. And this is Red Sails in the Sunset. And the drummer is a guy called Rob Hurst. And all the drumming sounds amazing on all, kind of like the Police, on all the Midnight Oil albums. But on this particular album, the second song on side 2 is called Kosciuszko. And the drumming on that song is insane. I mean, this guy hit the drums fiercely. I saw Midnight Oil a couple of times in the late 80s, early 90s. And the first time I saw them, they were still pretty young and pretty fierce. And Rob Hurst was insane. And yeah, any of the first 3 to 4 Midnight Oil albums are brilliant. So that's my number 7, Rob Hurst from Midnight Oil. My number 6 is good old Larry Mullen Jr. from U2. Again, you know, you could argue the Joshua Tree has amazing drumming. Bullet the Blue Sky, Where the Streets Have No Name. You could argue Octone Baby has brilliant drumming on it. But I really think it's War. I think, you know, Sunday Bloody Sunday, Seconds, Two Hearts Beat as One. I mean, Larry Mullen is, in my opinion, very underrated, and U2 War was really, again, an album from my youth that, you know, changed everything. Okay, my number 5 is Art Blakey. This is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is Moanin'. This is a classic vinyl, a Blue Note classic vinyl series repress. There is a song that starts side 2. It's called The Drum Thunder Miniature Suite. Now, that doesn't get you excited about drums. I don't know what will. Now, I know Art Blakey would be an obvious choice of many people, but not a lot of people listen to jazz. So I wanted to include him because I really want people to kind of explore something different. And, you know, anything by Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers is going to have great drumming on it. But this album, Moanin', really exemplifies his ability as an amazing jazz drummer. Number 4, I'm going to go with good old Dave Grohl. And I know the Foo Fighters would be an obvious, or Nirvana. I mean, Nevermind has amazing drumming on it. But this is an album that I don't see many people talking about. This is Them Crooked Vultures. This is their self-titled album. This is an amazing album of, you know, grungy hard rock. And Dave Grohl's drumming on this is fantastic. I think it's because he really, you know, in the Foo Fighters, you know, and he wasn't the drummer. But, you know, on this, I think he really got to be a drummer. And this has an amazing drum sound. If you like hard rock, you're going to love Them Crooked Vultures if you're not familiar with it. My number 3 is the Counting Crows and Steve Bowman, who was the drummer on August and Everything After. He didn't continue as their drummer much past this. I think he only did maybe the next 2 albums. And the time signatures on this are insane if you really listen to it. Again, most of these albums I'm showing you, they aren't drum solo, you know, YYZ type things. These are, to me, albums that emotionally really, the drums draw you into the albums. So Steve Bowman, just a great sound. Counting Crows, you know, Around Here, Mr. Jones. You really listen deep into those songs, you'll really get where I'm going with the drumming. My number 2 is Steve Ferrone. I think I'm pronouncing it Steve Ferrone. Steve Ferrone. He was the drummer for Tom Petty on the Wildflower album. This is the deluxe edition that came out a couple of years ago. And again, not a drummer that steals the show with crazy drum solos and whatnot, but man, you have a re-listen to You Don't Know How It Feels, Time to Move On, You Wrecked Me, It's Good to Be King. Oh man, the drumming on this is insane. And Steve Ferrone, another guy that just a resume beyond for being a drummer. You know, he was the drummer for, he's drummed for Paul Simon, he's drummed for Duran Duran. He was the drummer in the Average White Band, right? And also later on was the drummer for the B-52s. And again, just an amazing sound that helps draw you into this masterpiece album. The other thing I'll mention is all these albums that I have are all brilliant pressings. Like this is just an amazing pressing of this album, and the sound quality, you know, you're really picking up those, you know, different sounds coming from each speaker, you know, unbelievable. And my last pick is the Dave Matthews Band. And Carter Buford, man, You know, the Dave Matthews Band does not get a lot of love. I don't know why. I love this. I mean, this album's a masterpiece. This is like a greatest hits. There's not a bad song on this. But man, you listen to the drumming that this guy gets, and Dave Matthews live are insane. And you know, Too Much to Say, two step. The drumming on that is crazy. Crash Into Me, Too Much, number 41, Say Goodbye, go on and on. But Dave Matthews Band, Crash, just amazing drumming from Carter Buford. All right, so that's my list of my next 9. So give me 9 of your favorite sounding drum sounds in your collection, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks, everybody.